There we go. Now we're live.
Hey.
Cool. Not to the sound of the kettle boiling. Well, now the kettle is boiling. That's okay. Welcome to day 34 of our daily tea practice. Wow. Who would have thought we would have gone this far? We're still here, still kicking. I hope you guys are still kicking too. I promise I will not kick you guys off the table this time. And if I do, I'll save you. It's okay. So good afternoon to you guys. Gabby's over here. Happy Monday to you too, Gabby. Terry Teapot, Tea Blossom is here. Hidestock is here. Yeah, welcome from a lovely Vegas afternoon. Sorry about the connection issues from earlier. If I lose you, we'll try to get you back to. Today, we're going to be doing something really interesting to kick off the week. We are going to be doing a spin-off of my kind of matcha tea as a matcha base method. There are very few original ideas that I have. I think there are very few original ideas in the world. I'm sure someone's already done it, but I'm proud of this one because I came up with it by myself. Most other things I've, gotten from other people, like yesterday's pour-over experiments. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun doing that. If you haven't watched it, it's going to be up on the YouTube. But if not, then sit tight and we'll do some matcha today. For those of you who haven't done this experiment with us before, I am going to start with one of our tried and true successful tests, which is matcha whisked with jasmine green tea as a base. And this is probably the one that has been consistently successful for everyone who's ever tried it. There hasn't really been any issues with this. I've tried doing this with white tea, oolong tea, pu'er tea, to varying degrees of success, but the green teas tend to be a good base for the matcha. Probably because they're just both green teas, When you're using a green tea as a base for another green tea, it's kind of okay, right? Like, it's not gonna conflict too much with what's going on in the matcha. They both have the same overall kind of chemical composition. It's when you do weird things with other things, like lavender and mint, that things might get a little bit crazy. So we'll save that for later. We will start with a jasmine green tea, jasmine dragon pearls, very run-of-the-mill. A pretty good one though, just to show you how this goes. Yeah. I'm gonna echo Joe's sentiment. Hello, you lovely tea peeps. One Man's Tea Journey is here too, Tea Traveler. Esther is here, Tea Millennial. Are we Tea Millennials? Fuck, we are, huh? Ace Lighty is here, Henrique is over here. Wow, we've got the whole gang. Yeah, Joe, welcome. Tia Roma is here. Salvador with the Mia matcha. Guess what, dude? The show's gonna be about your matcha. I was gonna use the Shinsha matcha for this first one, but since you're here, we gotta use Salvador's beautiful, wonderful, fantastic Mia matcha. I know I get kind of excited about a lot of teas that I do on this stream, but the thing is, we don't buy a lot of crappy tea. All the crappy tea I save for the workshops that we do. So there is a reason why we're always excited about all these teas. This is just, look how gorgeous the color is. Look at this crap. And this is even after being open for a couple months now. Salvador, you gave this to me during Northwest Tea Fest. Dope matcha. Really, really good. So those of you who have never, ever seen me do this before, to clarify, yes, I will be using a tea as the base for the matcha to whisk in. So you usually use water, right? I'm just going to preheat the bowl for later on. But instead of using water to whisk the matcha in, we're going to be using tea. Yeah. By the way, don't. Yeah, okay, luckily that didn't happen. Don't pour water when your matcha tin is open, because if the water goes inside the matcha tin, I'm just getting really excited, that's all. Hope you guys are having a nice Monday. It warms my heart to know that we're all connecting from so far away. Salvador and this matcha from Tijuana in Mexico. This one's from Mie. We're tuning in from Las Vegas. We got some Las Vegas friends with us. I think Germany, Netherlands, Canada, Canada, Brazil. I'm from the Philippines originally. I miss my country. I went there for the last time. The last time I went there, I hadn't been back in 12 years. And I feel like I'm lucky to live a pretty global life with this work in tea, but I miss going home. Need to do that more. But yeah, thanks for joining us from so far away. Yeah. So the reason why I'm okay using this matcha is when you're doing these experiments, which I hope you do, if you want to keep it safe, I would recommend trying to do a green tea first instead of something crazy. Like Salvador is saying you can use a fukamushi sencha and it will be a punch of theanine. I've seen people do gyokuro. We've done gyokuro. Crazy results. We've done sencha. I think we've done kukicha at some point. I forget. But my favorite one is definitely the jasmine pearls, I would say. And then the gyokuro have been the two really good results. Those of you who've been with us for a while might have seen me do the pu'er one. Pu'er choices, you know. The oolong one, also not that good. I've seen some people do milk oolong as well. Like jinshuan, both flavored and unflavored. I've tried that as well. Not very good results on my end. But it's a new method, you know. Again, I just kind of came up with it one day when I was like, I want to have jasmine green tea, but also matcha. Let's do it at the same time. And it worked. Sometimes it's just how it goes, right? So yeah, just preheating this baby over here. I am going to brew the jasmine pearls first. One thing I am adjusting today is I'm going to brew this a little bit harder than I usually do. Just at the beginning, kind of scared of this method, I was brewing the jasmine dragon pearls at a lower temperature. And also, that was at the time when I wasn't using super hot water for matcha yet. But now, I think that to improve our results, I would like to brew this at a higher temperature, baby it a little bit less. I have a lot of confidence in this matcha from Mie, again from Sinensis MX. Salvador is in chat if you want to harass him about it. Really good balanced tea. You want to pick a matcha that's pretty well balanced, because if you pick a really umami, kind of like sushi-like matcha, I remember Tyler picked up a couple from Kettle that were very umami, kind of sushi-like. And like it's not a good match if you want to do like jasmine sushi, kind of weird, but it's up to you. Yeah. One Man's Tea Journey, I tried it with ginseng oolong and it didn't work at all. I'm sorry. I hope that I wasn't responsible for that. Was I? I don't like ginseng oolong very much, so that's just really unfortunate. Okay. So I'm preheating my bowl. My mise en place isn't really well. You know, usually I'm pretty good about where I want to put all my tea stuff and get everything ready, my timings, but new method. Okay. And then I'm going to sift the matcha first so that it's nice and ready for when we're finished with the tea. I'm going to put a generous amount. I do tend to use a lot of matcha when I whisk. For those of you who want that nice, sexy matcha foamy thing going on, the biggest issue with kind of sad-looking matcha foam is not enough matcha for your water. If you're going to invest in matcha, I know it's not cheap, but you might as well do it, right? Use more matcha and you'll get that really nice foam, even if you're like me and not really a matcha whisking expert. Yeah. And as always, as we're prepping this stuff, let us know what you guys are drinking today. Saying hello to Jeremy. Jeremy, did you finish your homework today? I know I feel really bad. I'm like, is Jeremy still on stream? And he's like, oh, I finished my homework early today. I worked on it this morning so we could be on stream. So Jeremy, I owe you an apology. You're always there for us. Dino Lencioni is here too, and Tea Path. We are going down a very interesting tea path today, that's for sure. All right, we got our matcha nice and sifted. Look how beautiful the matcha is. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then we'll brew this guy. Yeah. I'm gonna use about half of this. Jasmine pearls are pretty heavy, pretty condensed, have a lot of oomph per leaf, so you don't need to use too much. But I want to extract a fair amount of flavor from them. And yes, I will be using just the gaiwan to brew the tea and then directly into the bowl. I'm going to use, usually I pour it into a different container so I can taste how it's like first. But for the purposes of just wanting to preserve the temperature, I'm going to try to eyeball the tea, kind of smell it, yeah, it's becoming very jasmine-y very quickly. Nyan Becker, welcome to today's tea practice. And Mindful Tea's question, what temp do you brew the jasmine pearls? I was brewing it before at maybe 80 degrees Celsius, but now I'm at closer to 90. I'd like to up the temperature of the base tea. In the beginning, I was using a much lower temperature for the base tea because I was kind of scared. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, really good matcha should stand up to hotter water, and my Chanoyu friends have showed me that boiling water is actually really good for good matcha. So I'm trying to up the temperature here. If I'm just drinking these jasmine green tea pearls by themselves, I'd maybe brew them a little bit lower or around here. I like to brew things pretty hot. You know what I'm missing? No one even told me, not even my own boyfriend, Steven. We don't even have our whisk prep yet. That's a disaster. I keep forgetting. Must be nice to be perfect. T Traveler says 95 degrees. Yeah, I would have had this a little bit higher, but I didn't want to burn the matcha. Nicholas, I really enjoyed watching your matcha latte demonstration. That's what the bit that I caught from your matcha class the other day. I actually don't know how to make a good matcha latte, which is an issue. But I know how to, you know, destroy myself with pour as a base for matcha. I know how to do all that stupid shit, but I don't know how to make a matcha latte. Shame. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to pour a little bit of jasmine tea in. I'm going to make my paste. This seems to me to have the best results for me, just making sure that all the matcha kind of gets nice and wet. I didn't use enough matcha for my taste. I'm not going to use that whole gaiwan. I don't want to make a watery matcha, so I'm going to use like half the gaiwan and then decant this later. Yeah, I was being shy with the matcha today, I guess. Smells really good. Wow, really, really good. All right. Foaming really beautifully too. We've seen that sometimes we have some issues with the foam on these tea as a base experiments, especially with gyokuro. We had issues with foam. Yeah. We even brewed the gyokuro pretty hot, but I don't know what happened there. Might be just the water issue. Yeah. Getting a nice foam on this. Really, really nice and green. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, I'm out of practice. Got a nice foam going on. It's hard to angle it, but nice foam. Yeah, pretty nice foam, I would say. So no issues with the foaming. Now it's time for us to drink it. Wow, that jasmine smell is really intense. Ooh, that's like a bath, like a matcha jasmine tea bath. Wow, that's decadent. Holy crap. Steven, it's like we don't gotta buy perfume anymore. We just gotta make matcha jasmine lattes. Right? That's very perfumey. Very intense, maybe almost a little bit too jasmine-y, I would say. Just a tiny bit too jasmine-y. But I like it. If I want to just tone down the jasmine going on, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot water. Just a tiny bit. Because I like jasmine, but I don't want it to be like jasmine in the face kind of jasmine. We incorporate that. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Much better, much more balanced. Yeah, so pretty good. That was, we brewed this at around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 90 degrees Celsius. So by the time the tea goes into the matcha, it's probably a little bit under. So not the hottest matcha ever, but I also want to be careful with the green tea. I want to bring out more jasmine flavor, but I don't want to burn the green tea because I'm actually more scared of the green tea becoming more bitter. A good grade green tea will take, a higher temperature, but this is like a pretty okay green tea. It's not the most amazing green tea in the world. A lot of the jasmine green teas aren't that, high grade, so it does get kind of bitter. So you're kind of playing around with what notes do I want to pull from my tea base, and how much matcha do you want in the matcha. By adding the water, I kind of got it to the right level, I'd say. Esther says she's a jasmine in the face kind of girl. You would have liked that first steep. And yeah, it definitely doesn't overshadow the matcha. What's great about this method, especially with the jasmine pearls, is that it doesn't seem like the matcha goes away. Whereas I'm not sure with the ginseng oolong one man's tea journey, I imagine some other kinds of tea might overtake the taste of the matcha or clash in a really bad way. They just kind of bring out each other's green tea-ness, which I really, really like. Mindful Tea says, looks yummy. I'm definitely going to try making one tomorrow morning. It's great. Yeah. Sometimes matcha can just be matcha, right? And I'm one who will get a matcha latte at the store. Yeah, I'm not opposed to non-traditional means of doing things. And if you're going to get like a matcha latte or a flavored matcha, you might as well use a good tea base, right? If you go to if you go get bubble tea or milk tea, which I grew up with bubble tea and milk tea. Sorry, it's true. If they'll flavor the matcha, they usually aren't doing this. They're using like a jasmine syrup, jasmine simple syrup, some kind of flavoring, jasmine sugar sometimes. This is better because there's no sugar. It's very sweet, by the way. It's almost like dessert. It's really decadent, and it's almost like we went out for some flavored tea. Right, Steven? We got some good mileage out of this. I'd call this, yeah, really, really good. And Ace of Lighty says, I want to try this with guapian. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a jasmine scented green tea that you do this with. If you want to keep it kind of on the down low, you can use another kind of green tea that's not flavored or scented. This is a traditionally scented jasmine pearl, so while it is very jasmine in the face, there's no artificial flavor. Pretty natural, just very jasmine in the face, yeah. I mean, some of you who have jasmine plants at home, they can be very intense. That's springtime in a cup. Really good stuff. I like it. One Man's Tea Journey says, I was just thinking guapian would work well. Yeah, I would like to try that. I do have a little guapian. That's Liu An guapian. It's a Chinese green tea that they're talking about. It's like a toasty one for my personal taste. Pretty toasty green tea. Good stuff. It's like a baked green tea. Yeah, this worked out really well. Claudia, good afternoon from down here in Vegas. And you know what's even more bomb that you can do with this? I'm a lightweight. I don't really need that much tea. But now that I'm pretty much done with that matcha, I want to save some energy for another round of matcha. This is not the last bowl we're doing today. I will keep it to make into an iced matcha later. This is actually a really good way to make a iced matcha drink, is using the matcha as a base. Just works really well. So that's our refreshing drink later, Steven. Yeah. It honestly does take the edge off of my milk tea cravings. I've been bothering Steven the last couple of days. Can we get boba? Boba? You'd think that with all the tea I'm drinking over here, there's no need for boba, but it's a different kind of craving. Yeah. Mindful Tea says, I like your chawan. Thank you. I really like it. I think my whole I miss the Philippines spiel at the very beginning was subconscious, because this is a Philippine-made chawan. I'm from the Philippines. For those of you who don't know, we don't have a tea culture native there. Our tea culture is more similar, I think, to like Hispanic culture. From the Hispanic friends that I have, that tea is like a medicine. It's something that only came out when we were sick, or for old people and traditional people, and we're trying to be healthy. Like if someone's drinking tea, it's like, oh, are you on a diet? You're so healthy. But this lady, Cheryl, Cheryl, yeah. She's a ceramicist back there who's trying to make Filipino ceramics, because there is a pottery industry there, but not a tea culture. And when there's no tea culture to support the ceramics, people don't make nice teaware stuff. But now they are. It looks like wood to me. It's very different from every single chawan I've ever had. Yeah, here's the inside of it too. And in teaware tests, we've done a side-by-side of this material with other kinds of bowls. It does really well for matcha, so good matcha bowl. If you all have a bowl that you use for matcha, please make sure you've tested it against a bowl, like a neutral bowl. Because we have some bowls we love, but they suck for matcha. Like, they suck. Like, a lot. Good for everything else, though. Okay. Next round. This is where we're going into a weirder territory. We will be doing a lavender and mint blend from Big Heart Tea. It's called Royal Treatment. I think I actually used this last year during Tea Masters Cup, which is why there's just simple syrup all over it. I put it in a drink. It's got tulsi, lavender, spearmint, peppermint, and ginkgo leaf. I don't know what ginkgo leaf is supposed to taste like, but what I'm using it for is the mint. I think it's not uncommon to find mint matcha. And usually, again, those kinds of matcha drinks are using mint flavored syrup or mint sugar, something like that. It's really unusual for them to be using a base for the tea that's like an herbal. So yeah, here's the herbal we'll be working with. I picked this herbal because number one, Big Heart Tea is really, really dope. Herbal tea is just like regular tea. There's a big scale of quality that you can work with, and their herbals are really, really good. I actually have been able to gong fu style these with really good success. I find that a lot of the herbals on like the general market, you can only get 1 or 2 steeps out of. But this particular company, their herbals are really, really well sourced, and I mean, she is my friend, but yeah, I buy herbals from her because her quality is really good. And yeah, good stuff. If you're using good matcha like this Mie matcha, you might as well use good herbal. So that's my herbal spiel. I'm not opposed to herbal teas. I think that people who just, I don't know, by principle, I don't want to drink herbal teas. It's like, why? What did Tivana do to hurt you? It's okay. It's all right. They taste great. And if you're not tasting herbal teas, you're missing out on a lot of flavor library building. We like to use the word flavor library for teas, but for everything too. The more you can taste different herbs and spices and foods and, you know, everything, the more your taste better get in tea. And then they're tasty. We were drinking a lot of herbal tea during the Poor Love Challenge, that's for sure. Xiaohu is here, and Shiloh from Never Erden. We had a really good time watching your stream yesterday. So fun. Wish we had some Tim Tams. That stream is going to be up for a little bit, so if you want to learn about bowl brewing, you should hop onto Shiloh's account and watch his replay from yesterday. And at the end, there's a very special surprise for you. Shiloh, we love you. We love all of you. Well, most of you. I'm sure that some of you are not that good, but 99% of you are awesome, right? It can't be 100%. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, so we're gonna start off by sifting the matcha through again in this preheated bowl. I am reusing the same bowl from the first round of experiments. I made sure to dry it off after I preheated it. And yeah, any ideas about what test you guys might do? We have guapian that someone wants to test out, the mint. Nicholas, I'm glad you think the mint's a good idea. I've never tried this before, by the way. I think this is my first time doing herbal tea as a base, so God knows what will happen. So far, our successes again have come from green teas, and it makes sense because the, chemical components in any green tea will be not the same, but pretty similar to what's found in matcha. It's when you go off the cuff and go into black tea and oolong tea that have different chemical compositions that you get the kind of weird clashing profiles. Now, we'll be doing a herbal tea today. I don't know anything about the chemical composition of herbal teas. Nothing at all whatsoever. So I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know if there's something weird about, mint and lavender. Oh, and that's another thing. There's so many different ingredients going on here that any one bad ingredient could clash with the profile of the matcha. So we're in kind of no man's land. I don't know what's gonna happen. And, you know, I'm not pretending like this is the most novel thing in the world, but people mix lavender and mint and matcha all the time. But whisking in the liquor, I don't know. There might be some issues with the constitution of the whisking. I don't know. Tea works in weird ways because it's such a simple product. The smallest things can set it off. But that's exciting, right? Okay, just making sure I got all of that jasmine flavor out of there. Oh, I gotta rinse my lid. Yeah. The worst one, I think, was a pu'er one. That was probably the worst one. That was not good. I don't know what I was expecting. But hindsight is 2020. We wouldn't have known. So if you all are like, of course, Ree, I'm like, I don't know. Think about pu'er. Like, whoever thought, like, let's leave these leaves for 6 months in a big factory and let them compost for 6 months? That guy had bigger balls than I did. Just doing these little experiments like this. Yeah. Jade Girl, yeah, we're doing some matcha. We're going to be whisking it in a herbal tea base. This is, again, the Royal Treatment from Big Heart Tea. No sponsorships, just friendships. She's great. Lisa's amazing. If you are looking for higher quality herbals, just really good tasty blends that aren't just like, oh, I like rose and mint, let's just put them together and then put them in a nice package and put a nice name on it, you should get these because she actually cares about how things taste. Good herbal is really good. Yeah. Yes, so Jade Girl, to confirm, we are going to whisk with the matcha. Why make it more complicated? You know, add it to the water after the matcha, but then it's not going to be enough matcha. We'll see how it goes. I will use higher temperature here again, around 90 degrees. I'm going to use a pretty steady stream. Herbals, the good thing about herbals is that they don't get bitter quite easily, especially this particular blend. So I'm not worried about bitterness coming out. Ooh, one thing I will have to do is make sure that my Gaiwan skills are on par. I need to make sure I don't put leaves in there. I trust myself. I think it should be okay. Salvador says cardamom matcha is really good over ice. Ooh, I like that. Mindful tea is maybe a black tea that's very chocolatey. Have we tried a black tea yet? I don't think so. I think I've done a roasted oolong that was kind of chocolatey. Didn't go well. But we can try it. Dr. Felix is here. Oh, One Man's Tea Journey says, I think like Taiwanese oolongs. I thought so too, but my Taiwanese oolong tests with matcha have not gone so well. It might just be me. Because I think Shiloh, was it you? I think you did a Taiwanese oolong once with matcha, or someone who's pretty, like, I know that their technique was probably really good, and they made the oolong work with matcha. I have not been able to do it yet. It's kind of like, it's not bad, but you don't want, it's not bad, right? You want it to be good. Okie dokie. I think that I might have overdone this. Herbal tea is quite, you know what? I'm not gonna trust myself. Wait, I lied. I'm gonna decant it first. I'm losing some temperature here, but I feel like I'm gonna decant bits of lavender into my matcha. Even with the best possible Gaiwan technique. Jade Girl, where is the matcha from and where did you get it from? I got this from my friend Salvador. This is Sinensis.mx's Mie matcha. Mie is really a famous matcha region. It kind of gets looped in with a lot of the Kyoto and Uji matchas, I believe. But it's dope. It's really good. I'm quite picky about matcha, so yeah, it's such an expensive product that if you're gonna buy matcha, you might as well buy a really good one. And this isn't too expensive either. I brewed that way too strong. I'm glad that I decanted it before I used it, because that's just way too strong. It should not be this color. Someone don't call Lisa Gobro. That's not supposed to be what mint tea looks like, right, Steven? Oh my god. That's like an essential oil. Alright. That's probably better, right? I'm gonna taste it. I have fear too, okay? Fear's healthy. Fear helps you make better decisions. So make sure it tastes okay. Yeah, that's what we want. I'm so excited. Look at that beautiful color. Come on, herbal tea is great. I think my moment that I changed my mind about herbal tea was when I tried peppermint from the Pacific Northwest of America. That's just amazing. I don't care what anyone says. Really good peppermint is better than really crappy tea. So, yeah. No snobbery allowed here. I don't mind if you like regular tea more than herbal tea. Of course I do too, but people are like, ew, you drink herbal tea? I'm like, yeah. Again, who hurt you? Tell me the name of the Tivana clerk who hurt you. Because I've been hurt by Tivana clerks too. Okay, this is smelling really interesting, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. This is a point at which I wish we had a new whisk, Steven, because my whisk is missing a whole chunk right there. It's like a 4-year-old whisk. Dude, by the way, props to the matcha. The aftertaste is very, very beautiful. Holy crap. I'm not sure about the smell of this. It smells interesting. I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way. Henrique, if you're out there, he messaged me before this. Oh, thanks for doing all the stuff that I don't have to do. I'm like, you're welcome, dude. So for y'all who are wondering what mint whisked with matcha whisked with mint is like, and you don't want to do it yourself to waste your really good matcha, you girls got you. I'm gonna do it anyway, regardless of whether or not there's an Instagram live or not. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful whisk. Beautiful foam. There's no issues with the whisking. I bring that up because I think with white tea, I had some issues whisking. Might be because the white tea has those little hairs. Yeah, pretty. Really, really nice bouncy foam. That smells like soup. What kind of soup? Dude, that smells like soup. Tell me that doesn't smell like soup. It smells like soup. Why is that? Aromas are weird. Aromatic compounds are weird. It's not a soup you would have had. I feel like that's like a... Doesn't it smell like soup? It doesn't smell like matcha, and it doesn't smell like mint. It doesn't smell like lavender. And I'm kind of not surprised because there was a time we did a chocolate and tea pairing in New York, and that was really fun. And me and my friend, he was coming from the chocolate perspective, and I was coming from the tea perspective. We paired a pu'er with a white chocolate with basil infused, and together it's a pu'er, like a show pu'er, with white chocolate and basil. You put them together, and it tasted like pho. And we were talking with the lead chocolatier. She was the master chocolatier of the space, and she was like, that's the one you need to put in the pairing, because if people don't remember good pairings, they remember interesting ones. This is a very interesting taste. Steven kind of spoiled it for me though. He made a really weird face when he drank it. What the fuck? That's like grass. That's like soup. I want to eat this with rice. Right? Wow, that's really good. What is going on? What does that taste like, Steven? That tastes like curry. Right? Like some kind of like yellow curry or something from like table Thai. Doesn't it? Wow, I don't know why this is happening, but this tastes like curry. Like a very aromatic Thai curry. It's not pho. It tastes like curry. No, Steven, you don't think so? Now that I say curry, you don't like the idea of it. Yeah, let's break it down. So there's this almost like a milky, like coconutty thing going on. And it's very smooth, and it has a lot of body, which is interesting. I would say that this has more body than the jasmine green tea. I think because we are dealing with more compounds in the herbal tea, right? So it's adding more texture that the green tea itself doesn't have already. And Yeah, this is a head scratcher. Esther, who's popping up, you're actually a good person for me to ask. I wish that you were here. Esther is, you know, formerly from the culinary world and has trained with amazing chefs and has a really good nose. I bet you would know exactly what this is. Dude, if you took me and blindfolded me, like Hell's Kitchen style, you know they do the taste test in Hell's Kitchen? You blindfolded me? Let me do that right now, actually. I would not tell you that's matcha, and I would not tell you that's mint tea. I would not tell you that's an herbal tea. That's just not tea. That's just food. What the hell? And it's got this kind of like sticky rice connotation. I don't think it tastes like sticky rice, but it makes me want to pour it over sticky rice. It's very sweet. It's grassy, it's sweet. It's got lemongrass notes. I think that's partially why it's so curry-like. And then it's got those kind of herbaceous notes. Wow, I don't know what's going on, but it's very interesting. And let me tell you this, the jasmine green tea we did was more successful. And I'm sure everyone would enjoy it. It's easy, it's successful, solid choice. But this is the one I'll remember. The weird combinations are what your mind remembers. That master chocolatier from that event was right. I'll never forget that pho taste that we got from the chopoir and the white chocolate. And I'll never forget this bowl of tea. Ever. Wow. What's going on? I'm stumped. So Esther said, actually there's a maximum of aromas you can mix. One of the first things they taught us in culinary school. Yeah, I would love to get that explanation from you too, Esther, because just recently I've started studying a little bit about aroma, inspired by the UC Davis conference up in Northern California. They brought in a ton of people who talked about aromatics and aromatic compounds, and for me, especially thinking about the science part of things, you want there to be one aroma associated with one thing, right? So jasmine has a jasmine compound, or the smell of rice has a rice compound, or the smell of roses has a rose compound. Chocolate has a chocolate compound. So if a tea is chocolatey, it's going to have a chocolate compound, right? So if you mix a chocolate and a milk aroma, like compound, you'll get milk chocolate, but it's more complicated than that. So I'm not surprised that this is coming out into something. I don't recognize any matcha from this. I don't recognize any mint, no lavender. Maybe the mint like a tiny bit, but besides that, it's something else. I almost want to keep this recipe to use and like just shock people. It's very shocking. Really, really shocking. I don't know what do we learn from this? Can I put a little bit more matcha? I mean, a little bit more mint? What's gonna happen? Yeah, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna change? We're just exploring here. And for those of you who might be thinking, what the hell, Ree? Why can't you just make matcha? It's because this is really interesting. I'm getting so much more like flavor, kind of mileage and experience out of this. It's just something I've never had before. Okay, it turned minty. I liked it before. No, it's just minty. Yeah, weird. Really odd. So Esther says she'll say something about it on Discord later. Yeah, so I really want to pour this over rice. That's my conclusion. I want to pour this over rice. Don't you, Steven? No? You're not a fan?
I'll just have it like that.
Like this? Okay, try it with the mint. Again. Wow. This is one of those moments that I'm just shocked. Yeah, okay. So should we do another one, Steven? This is like the mic drop kind of experiment. I don't even know what to do after this. Yeah. While I get my wits about myself, why don't you tell us what you're drinking right now? Okay, we have time for another one?
20 minutes left.
20 minutes, okay. Yeah, I am going to save this and I will pour it over rice. I'm not kidding. I will save this to pour over sticky rice later. Specifically sticky rice, like a Thai dish. Yeah. This is interesting. I am really surprised. So Steven, if the quarantine continues and we run out of food, at least we have some mint, lavender, and matcha that we can use to trick ourselves into thinking we have more substantial food than we actually have. And you know what's crazy? There are no calories in this. 0 calories. All it is just aroma. And I'm not talking about the whole like nutrition thing. It's just so crazy you can get this flavor profile from something that's just not food. Tea is weird, man. Jesus. Okay, so thanks for helping me hold down the fort. Jeremy is having some Shanlin Shi, Shiloh's having some Yancha, Nyanka Specker's having Taiwanese Heicha. Wow. Mindful Tea is gonna have some sleep. Good night. And then Asulaity's having some Dao Ye Dan Song. Nice. These are actually our first teas of the day. We haven't had tea yet. We spent all morning finishing off our stock. We make stock from bones and vegetables once every month or two. It's one of my favorite days ever. Stock's great. Okay. We got time for one more. I don't even know how to follow that up though. That's just insane. I feel like it's just going to be an uphill battle trying to one up that experience. The Hui Gan, Steven, is amazing, by the way. I know it's just from the mint. The mint tends to be like that. The aftertaste is just beautiful. Super refreshing. I would love to have this in the middle of the summer. Yeah. I would like to pour this over sticky rice as like a legitimate dessert. I'm not joking. I will do it too. Someone keep track of that. We need to get glutinous rice, Steven, and pour it over. It's gonna be delicious, I promise you. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be the best ochazuke ever. That's just ochazuke, but sweet. Okay, we're TQing on. Right, Shiloh? Shiloh knows. Next one we'll do... Actually, yeah. We will do the rose one. Yeah. I will hope that we have something interesting come up from here too, because that was just insane. Yeah. Esther's having some Pinyin Baozong. Can't stop drinking this tea these days. Nice and springtimey. I think we did a Baozong with matcha, and it didn't quite work. Joe says, is tea 0 calorie if you're adjusting the leaf? I think tea has negligible amount of calories, like trace amounts. Of course, there's like starches and carbohydrates and other things in the leaves, but very, very tiny amounts. So, yeah, just a really good way to eat something without eating something. Overall, so we did the jasmine green tea with the matcha, and then we did the mint and lavender mix with the matcha. If there's any takeaway from this, it's, holy crap, that's a lot of mileage we're getting from this tea. It's very satisfying, and stuff that you almost think is going to have sugar in it, right? It's very sweet, very satisfying. Just scratches that itch for, like, sugary drinks. Yeah. Very, very tasty. I'm enjoying myself. I'm sorry if I'm just kind of like bewildered because I've just never tasted that before. It's almost like I created something I wasn't expecting. So yeah, I am pretty shocked. I am. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. I think that's why I'm addicted to doing these tests, because I could go to a fancy restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip, maybe not right now, but yeah, I could go fly to like London and go eat at a Michelin star restaurant where they like, you know, churn up turnips and turn them into foam and, you know, fill up balloons with like sugar and stuff. You've seen those, right, Steven? Like those really fancy restaurants where they're like, wow, how did they make a radish into foam? I'm talking about like molecular gastronomy. And that stuff is really interesting. Or you can travel to Vietnam or Taiwan or Singapore and eat street food, and the purpose of it is to explore new culinary horizons, expose your palate to something you haven't tasted before. Yeah, it's a stimuli, right? I want to taste something I've never tasted before. I want to taste something that's going to blow my mind. And yeah, you can do that if you go to a Michelin star restaurant. You can do that if you go, street food hopping in Taiwan. I friggin' love street food. I really, really love the night markets in Taiwan. The best ever. I miss Taiwan. But this is almost as good, right? Like, that's some crazy shit we're having today, and I don't have to leave my house. So, and all the Michelin star restaurant critics can't even go to the Michelin star restaurants right now. But here we are, broke 20-something years olds, and we're having some really interesting culinary explorations here. So that's why I do it. It really is really fun. Very, very fascinating. Okay, so we've sifted out our next batch of matcha. We'll do our last one today. Yeah, nice little lineup. I think we did matcha with jasmine, matcha with mint and lavender, aka Thai curry. And then we'll do another one from Big Heart Tea, Nurturing Rose. This one has tulsi and red rose petal. For the record, Steven doesn't even like rose teas, but this is very subtle and not too overwhelming, right?
Like
Just very balanced, yeah. I don't typically like rosy teas either. Sometimes they can get too perfumey, kind of bitter and just over the top, but this is very, very good. Nurturing Rose. It's called Cup of Love. Yeah, every cup is a cup of love, right, Steven? No, it's not true. Some of the pour challenge pours were not cups of love. The cups of pain. Okie dokie. I'll get over my weepiness. Asulagi says, rose and matcha sounds delicious. Yeah, I think it'll go well. Rose isn't my favorite flavor in the universe, but it's not one I don't like. And stepping out of my comfort zone here, I rarely, if ever, order rose things. I like rose macaron. Those are really good. Rose milk tea can be really good too. But yeah, you gotta do stuff that's not in your comfort zone. I'm not very good at many things, but that's one thing I'm really good at. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, great. Oh, Geoff, we just had some Thai curry on stream and you weren't there for it. You missed out, dude. Yeah, you missed out on the Thai curry. I made Thai curry from tea. It's like the alchemist trying to turn mercury into gold, but tea. Yeah, hi Geoff. I'm still really stunned about the previous experiment, so forgive me for being so shell-shocked. I really am shocked. Okay, so rose and tulsi. Tulsi is also called holy basil, and it's got this kind of earthy... it's got some similarities with the yerba mate or guayusa, if you've had those before. But no... not so much bitterness as those. Okay. Yeah. This one I'm pretty confident I can pour into the matcha without going overboard. Yeah. Oops, I forgot to make my paste. Just got so excited. And yeah, thanks for joining us on this Monday. We have 6 more days left of our daily lives before we go back to our regularly scheduled, like, once a week. I hope you guys have had fun this whole time. We've still got quite a while to go. 6 days is a lot of time. But it's been really nice to share these tea practices with you. It's stuff we do anyway. We really, yeah. Okay. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more of this rose blend in. Yeah, let's see if we can make a rose matcha without any syrup. What the hell? That's weird. That's also really weird. So I'm just getting a whiff of the tea as I'm whisking it. It's like a nice preview of what's to come. whisking it really well. So maybe the issue with our foaming problems, Stephen, was just the temperature from the past. It's possible. Or maybe just the white tea itself, because the white tea has little hairs that made it difficult to foam. Okay, that looks really, really intense for the matcha. I almost want to put a little bit more rose in there, but yeah, nice foam. And oh, this is another thing. You might think that the herbal tea will disrupt the color of the matcha. The matcha stands up really well. What the hell? That's scary. What? That's just too intense. Get that out of here. Let me dilute this. It's just a little bit too rosy. Actually, it's just a little bit too bitter is what it is. It's not even too rosy. Steven, help me. I felt like I got choked by a rose, but the thorny part, not even the nice tasting part. How is it? It's almost worth it for Steven to make that kind of face. We should have like a side camera or something, Steven. Whew. Wow, that's not my favorite one. Let's see if we can salvage it by putting just a little bit more rose. This is another one that's kind of clashing. Similar to the rose, similar to the matcha with pour experiment. The matcha's here and the pour is here and they're social distancing. You know, they don't want to like hang out, which is okay if you're humans, but these are teas, so you want them to hang out. The jasmine and the matcha, they mesh well together. The mint, lavender, and matcha, I've never done it before besides today, but it meshed well together too, albeit in a weird way. This one, I just feel like the rose and matcha are not coming together. It's getting worse! It's getting worse! Ooh! Wow! That's awful. That's really bad. That's not good. Should I just try to dilute it? I think we can maybe make some rose milk tea out of it. It's just so bitter. Oh god, it's not going anywhere. That's horrible. Wow, that's just unexpectedly bad. I did not expect it to be that bad. Holy crap. Now I want to see what the tea tastes like, because the tea is actually very mellow for a herbal tea. It's not that bitter. Whew! That's really bad. I don't know why, but I hate that. That's just repulsive. Wow. Let's test to see if the herbal tea had any issues with it. That's lovely. It's hilarious how funny. It's hilarious how good that is. So I'm just tasting the original herbal tea. It's so delicious. It's really, really good. But like that's like the best rose herbal tea ever, right? It's just very soft, mellow, very light. Yeah, it's really light, right? There's nothing wrong with it, so why the fuck is this so horrible? What the hell? God! Why? Oh god, why? There's not enough water to save this. Just put some more like cold water. What do we do with this, Steven? Whew! Yeah, there's something about rose and tea, I guess, that don't want to get along, or I don't know if it's the tulsi. The royal treatment had some tulsi in it though, so I think it's the rose. Geoff's asking, what temp did you brew the herbal tea at? We brewed it using like 93 degrees Celsius, close to boiling. The other two did just fine. It's not, we know this matcha, which we've used this whole time, stands up to boiling water. And we tested the herbal tea, and it's very soft and mellow. But you put those two things together, and it's like a disaster. Wow. It's like if you ever had like your best friend's date, and you know you would like both of them, but you're like, I don't want you two together. Yeah, it's just, yeah, no. No. Nenke S. Becker, is it at least better than a matcha pu'er combo? You know, I think this one is worse because this one had potential, right? Rose and matcha sounds great. And rose and matcha as a drink exists already. The pu'er and matcha, you're almost like prepared. Like, you know what you're in for, right? But this one, it's like, you know, yeah, just, yeah. And, Geoff, I'm forgetting people's names, it's so bad. Try the herbal at matcha temperature for 3 minutes, then put it in with the matcha powder. But we did the same temperature with the lavender and mint one, and it was fine. And we know this matcha does just fine. And the tea itself tastes really good. There's no bitterness, no astringency, no nothing. It's just something happens when you put them together. Yeah, that's really odd. And Asolite, I think you're right. Maybe milk would save it. I just want to put it over ice now. It might save it. Maybe put some maple syrup. Yeah, this is a job for maple syrup. So what we'll do, we'll pour this over ice and then we'll mix it with maple syrup and see what happens, right? If maple syrup can't save it, nothing can. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I skipped out on a lot of your comments because it was just so horrible. Ooh. So Geoff's question was, he's trying to troubleshoot this. God bless Jeffrey. What kind of rose are you using? Pink rosebuds or straight up red? We're using red. Again, it's a very mellow one. Tyler is worried about us. It's safe to drink this much matcha. Yeah, I mean, we're okay, but... Whew. That was a roller coaster today, wasn't it, Stephen? If we're talking about building our flavor library, we're doing a lot of construction for sure. It's like we put up a new shelf to put all of these weird combinations in. Overall, I feel like with these matcha tests, we always have like a half and half success rate. We have like a really good one, we have an okay one, or a strange one, and then we have one that's just horrible. And it makes me not want to do it for 6 more months. So verdict, if you want to test it, I highly recommend using the jasmine pearls, or like a jasmine green tea, or just a regular green tea, because the matcha works well with the green tea, meshes really well. If you want to have Thai curry in your matcha, I guess, go order Big Heart Tea's Royal Treatment. It's a mint and lavender blend. It made the matcha taste like curry, in a good way. And then if you want to, I don't know, lower your self-esteem, and yeah. Make Steven make funny faces. Then you order also their cup of love, and then you put the same matcha in it, and yeah, make faces. This has been really fun. Yeah. Okay, we're going to rejoice in our joys and take a look at our failures. But thank you for joining us today for another Too Curious foray into the unknown. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I think we'll be doing some green tea brewing practice. Our friend Eric from Tea Sleuth was asking us to do a kind of side-by-side of green tea brewing methods, so I think we'll do that. No matcha shenanigans tomorrow. I can't do this 2 days in a row. It's just too insane. Back to basics. Yeah, I think green tea brewing practice tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for the matcha puns. I wish I could matcha both with how good your puns are, but we will just move along. Did Chawan another joke? Steven? Chawan? Get it? Or did my joke already bowl you over? Steven. Yeah, okay. See you guys tomorrow. If we survive the aftertaste.